Hi, Live 52 friends. You might have noticed this week we've launched a couple of new things. Our free 5-day program, 5 Days to More Peace, is up starting on Monday, so you can take it anytime. I'm going to put a link below so you can easily enroll. And also, Unstress Your Body is here. And Unstress Your Body originally started as a workshop idea for Core to Core this summer. And Core to Core is a lovely wellness company that I have the privilege of being one of the founding instructors. And it was really a lovely curriculum. And I thought, why not bring some of it in smaller chunks of 30 minutes? And so far, the interest has been fantastic. Only anything we create on the feet is as interesting as unstressing the body. So I'm very glad that we have something that is touching something in you and it's resonating, and you're coming into the classes, 4 30-minute classes this month. And the first thing we start with tomorrow, which is in session 1, is this idea of yielding. And normally when we think about movement, we think about kind of changing geometrical positions in some active way. We're stretching, we're pulling, we're pushing. Oftentimes we're loading the musculature eccentrically, concentrically. We're thinking about movement in this very active way. But when we step into this territory that is more primitive, that has to do more with survival and how our body is wired, when the nervous system is involved, and it's always involved, but in stress and tension and unease and tightness, it really is very, very present what happens in the nervous system. When we come in with movement, oftentimes there can be this sense like I'm coming into my body and I'm trying to move my body. And there's this sense almost like opening a door while closing it shut. One part of me is wanting to create more space, and another part of me is pushing against that space and trying to compact me and make me really small and roll me into a ball, or make me tight, make me vigilant. And so the first important thing that we explore in session 1, and that's tomorrow, is this idea of yielding. And I'm going to do this with you right now. And yielding is the first thing that we learn to do when we're little humans. And when you're a baby and somebody holds you, the natural thing when a safe adult is holding you is to kind of soften and yield and go into their support. And if you've ever held a baby yourself, you know this precious moment when you're holding right under the baby's head and you feel that they trust you to hold them, and they say, hey, it's okay for you to hold me, for you to take care of me. So you can often explore this, and you can do it right now if you place your hand at the base of your head, right where your occiput is. And if you're leaning against something like I am right now, it's really much easier, or you can do it laying down. If you have a comfortable place to just lay on the floor, or perhaps on the couch, can you let your head be supported by your hand, and can you let your head be heavy in your hand? And what's it like for you to let that 12-pound ball be supported? And just notice what happens to your overall tension in your body, what happens to your breath, perhaps what happens to your eyes, to how you focus or how you relax into a softer vision when you can support the back of the head. And if you're sitting like I am, I'm sitting on the floor right now, find kind of a balanced way to sit on the floor where your left and right side are equal. And see if you can let more of your weight be supported by the ground, or perhaps by what's behind you. If you're in a chair, your feet will have support, your hips and the backs of your legs, your hamstrings will have support, and so will your back. So to what degree are you letting your physical structure be supported, and to what degree are you letting go of some of this kind of readiness that might be in your body, inappropriately so, if you're resting down? So yielding is the first thing that we learn to do as little humans. And so often these first relationships that we have, if they were rocky or if they were difficult, our bodies might have never developed this ability to let down, to feel safe, and to relax into contact. We're not talking about this inert contact. We're talking about an active contact where the awareness is on letting yourself be supported and letting that tension leave. And if you cannot yield, if you don't know how to yield, then any movement that goes in and tries to kind of stretch or release, the moment that you go into the body with this intention to create more space, there's something pushing against you. And it can feel very frustrating, especially to those of us that enjoy body work. We might be getting a lot of body work. You're laying down, somebody's working on you on a table or down on the floor, and then you get up, and then tomorrow you're back to square one. So what is happening in your body that you need so much to relax? And some people literally feel like they need to beat down their tissues to relax into submission. It's not a true relaxation. So learn how to yield. Start to play with this idea. Hi, Gary. Start to play with this idea of, my body's not doing anything right now. There's nothing to be ready for. I look around, and in this room, with these people, with these requirements, there's nothing for me to be ready for. And can I yield into support? Can I let the couch, the floor, everything around me support me? If I'm laying down, can I let the bed or the couch or the floor support me? If I'm resting into the embrace of another, can I let myself really be supported by that person? And can I let go? And so this letting go is a physical ability to hold appropriate amount of tension in the muscles. Movement is all about appropriateness. Are we generating an appropriate amount of tension or force for what's required from the task? And there's a lot of this in the body happens reflexively. The core is one area that we often talk about, and in the series that we did last year on digestion, and we're probably going to run it again in a couple of months. I think in January we're doing a Heal Your Gut series. In last year's series, we talked about this holding the belly really tight, like really guarding and armoring around the core. And what happens when we do that, we voluntarily create an inappropriate amount of tension. And then when it's time for the core to reflexively respond, whether to help us not twist too far, or help us not extend too far, or help us move some force from upper to lower body, or vice versa from lower to upper body, then our core is not able to respond appropriately because it's busy being taken up by this other program that we installed on top of it. So there's appropriate tension in the body. And yielding is sort of this baseline of what is appropriate amount of tension. So you start to calibrate it within yourself. And one of the reasons why many people who start a mindfulness or meditation, so sort of sitting practice, can't sit well is exactly because they can't yield. So this hurts, and that hurts, and that hurts, and that hurts. And so there's all this what's wrong mind that starts to go around the body because we're not able to yield. And yielding is the first developmental movement that you learn how to do within the safety of containment and support of the environment. So start to play with different surfaces. Some people love a firm surface to yield into. Some people love a softer surface. For me, it's easier to yield into a softer surface, especially if it's cold. Like it's really cold right now in Colorado. So like a sheepskin or something else that kind of both envelops you and also creates this thing that you're happy to yield into. You know, when you ask your tissues to let go, they can't let go into open space, into a vacuum, into infinity. They need to let go into something that they can count on. And once you have started calibrating this appropriateness between internal and external environment, once we start doing the rest of our healing movement practices in Unstress Your Body, that might require some stretching or some breathing or some kind of opening of certain spaces that hold nerves that are responsible for fight, flight, and other responses, then we've kind of relaxed. So you're going to see in session 1, we're doing a lot of this yielding work before we start to move the neck and the eyes and work with the cranial nerves. So I hope that this is kind of a starting place, whether you're doing Unstress Your Body or not this month, that this is a starting place for you to start thinking about, what are my intentions when I come into the body to take some of the tension out? Is there something that I'm working against? And can I create space without pushing against my own system? So this is for me for today. I hope that you're having a lovely, lovely evening wherever you are in the world, or morning for our Australian friends. And please check out in the comments, I'm going to put a link to 5 Days to More Peace, which is working with the body to find ease and peace in the body, and also Unstress Your Body, which is our classes. And the first is a free program, and the second one, it's really, really well priced during the month that we do the classes live. So I hope that you jump in and do it right now. And if you are a 365 member, if you are in our membership, then you just get these free as a bonus. So enjoy. Have a lovely rest of your evening, everyone.